Yeah, man.
Damn, bro.
First of all, that is not how you greet the people.
Damn, because I was always doing that shit.
I didn't do shit.
Hey,
listen, he's
Buenos
bullying me.
noches.
I'm going to keep bullying you, too.
Y'all didn't see what happened before we started
the
the stream, so.
Episode 121. UNFAMOUS PODKAST is your boy, Sean, Mr. NJ Brick City.
Just here.
Henry Hardaway.
And Unreal Fiction.
You know, we back, man.
Unreal Fiction, dog.
Oh, yeah.
Giving
it to the life.
What?
No, the little
I hate you.
Dun, DeMarco.
real trap shit.
No, bro. Ain't nobody fapping.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry, guys. Hey, guys.
It's not No Fat November yet, so.
No fat November.
Yeah.
I thought it was no.
Nah, I know about no shave November, but I know no fat November.
No Fat
That's
November.
unfortunate.
Okay. I don't know where you be getting this shit from.
Facebook.
I don't know who you follow to share that shit.
Anywho, welcome, guys.
Don't try to scheme past that shit that he be talking about. Like, fuck that. He be talking that crazy shit. I don't know what the hell Josh be talking about.
No Fat November, guys.
Nobody knows about that, bro.
I'm putting it out there.
First of all, I don't want to live in a world where it's no fat nothing because niggas be acting crazy when they backed up. I use niggas as a general term.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not
It's
mad
all about self-control and discipline.
Okay.
That's what they say. I
That's
don't know if I participate.
I know I ain't participating.
All right, so
It's always time to flip the bean.
Yeah. Them Fapple iced teas, bro. Them Snapple Fapples.
talking
Okay.
about flick the bean, talking about that jumping bean.
Bro.
Did
y'all see
Giant
that?
Peach?
Did y'all see the post with the cat? It was like a little cat, a little white cat, and he was scared, and so he was like jumping like this, and it was like how my clit look after.
Oh wow,
Damn, I didn't see that.
that sounds
That shit slayed me.
that shit sounds extreme. That shit sounds extreme as hell.
I was like, yo,
Damn, dog, you about to look it up?
these people have no chill, dog.
I'm
No
about to say,
chill.
I'm like, damn, you wild as shit.
I didn't share it. I sent it to my friends privately. I wouldn't reshare that.
What? You could have shared it to the podcast.
Oh yeah, I could have done that.
You don't share shit.
Wait, we're your friends, aren't we?
Damn.
You're my podcast friends. I sent it to my female friends.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I sent it to my female friends.
Wow.
I am deeply hurt.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Yeah,
I thought we were better than
I
that.
thought we had some
Wow.
type of relationship.
We do. Y'all are my brothers.
Wow.
And your brothers need to know everything that's going on.
Wow.
You guys do not know about. Y'all don't need to know about clit jumping. Not for me.
Wow.
You hear all your other wild stories like that about
I know, right?
Damn. Damn. You don't want to talk about that clip jumping? Okay.
Oh, yeah, show me the other Macho Man video, G.
Yeah, that shit's stupid. How was your week, kid?
My week has been. It's been full of ups and downs. For
You
sure.
were up and down.
No, unfortunately, that's one of the downs.
Oh,
no, it's been,
no fact.
we found an apartment or a condo in Charlotte. Really happy about that. Nice to have a place
Yeah.
that we'll call home.
Yay.
So yeah, that's really cool. What else? Oh, I'm studying hard now for the exam. It's exactly 26 days away. You're ignorant. 26 days away, so feeling very anxious, very nervous, very
anxious.
This is the kind of episode we're gonna have tonight, guys.
Y'all been sinking today.
So yeah, that's been an emotional roller coaster. Outside of that, yeah, ain't really got none, but that's been this weekend. So
Sorry?
woohoo.
Damn.
That's like my coping mechanism. You know how when people are stressed, like some people smoke, some people drink. I have sex when I'm stressed.
Oh,
So
wow.
Nothing wrong with that.
Bruh, you know what? It's gonna be some dude out gonna be out there like, I'm about to make her stressed as fuck.
Baby, welcome to the stress-free environment. AKA my
Look,
bedroom.
it's gonna be like random shit just going on. She's like, damn, I stubbed my toe. I done damn backed into a tree. All type of wild shit, right? It's gonna be the dude like, man, you look like you stressed. I am stressed. You wanna talk about it? Here's a couple of drinks, baby.
All right.
You want some weed?
You ain't even got to do all that.
Oh wow! Damn. Just pop up. Sir,
What's
why'd
up?
Sir, why'd your dick out?
Listen.
You seem like you're
What's
stressed.
up?
Nah, he gonna be like,
What's
he
up?
rubbing on your shoulders like Phase on Love when he was talking to Chris.
Oh,
yeah.
he about to.
He was like this.
Yeah.
You was like this.
You were this.
Come on, man,
stressed?
get off me, dog.
He about to come up like the deep and shit.
Oh, not the deep. Wow. Everybody probably didn't see the boys, so they don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, if you didn't see the boys, go see
Hopefully,
it
you
now.
know, this
Stream
weekend
it
we're
on.
gonna cut up. So cool. I'll be good.
Cut up.
Yeah, man, gonna cut up.
Oh yeah.
What else? I had a wet dream. The second one I ever had in my entire life. My entire 27 years of living.
Go on.
Any details?
This sounds dirty.
I mean, I don't think it was that dirty. Like,
It's a wet dream. It's definitely dirty.
I mean,
Not
yeah.
necessarily.
I mean, you know, I woke up and I was like, whoa, shit. Wow, okay. But yeah, it's just weird because it's the second one I ever had in my entire life.
What's
And I
the,
hear it's pretty common for people.
what's the
Like,
story?
I mean, did you?
Did I come?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did.
In your dream or like when you?
No, when I woke up, I was like, oh, this happened for real. Oh, okay. Yeah.
This isn't a dream. This is real.
This is not a drill.
This is not a drill. So yeah, so that was interesting.
What was the story? Do you remember it at all?
There really, you know what? I don't even watch porns with storylines, so there really wasn't a
Neither do I,
storyline.
but-
Just started in the lobby of the hotel and finished in the hotel room.
Damn, bro.
After the party, it's the hotel lobby.
Hey. So yeah, the maid was in it though, so that's
Okay, and I was about to ask you, was the person that
yeah.
you know you was doing all this with in the dream, was it somebody that you recognized?
Yeah, that was the maid.
Okay, that's good. At least it was somebody you recognize, and not just some random blurry face guy who's just piping you down. You be like, all right, who the fuck is this blurry face guy
The
that I
piping
might have
part
seen?
was actually the smallest part of it, honestly.
Damn,
Yeah, that was the very end.
damn.
Climax.
So
Sorry.
you had to change your
Moral of the
dishes.
story, guys: foreplay is important. Did I what?
Had to change your sheets after.
No, it wasn't like a gushing thing. It was like, oh my. It's like that. Women, I know y'all understand. Like after you have an
You
orgasm,
singing that
you're just
tweet?
like really wet and slippery down there. It's weird.
Slippery wet and wet.
It's weird.
What's wrong with you today?
And, hey, she said it. I'm
I did.
collaborating,
He is collaborating.
collaborating and masturbating in my mind.
Wait,
Oh my.
what?
Minderbating.
Bro, you wild as fuck. Jesus Christ.
Minderbating. Yeah.
Okay, so how was your week, Josh?
It'll be better now.
Minderbait tonight.
Don't shake your head. You know what you signed up for. Shit.
Dude, I do know.
It was cool. I had like a little interview for a promotion at my job.
Ooh, when do you find out if you got it?
I guess in the coming week or so.
That's exciting.
It's alright.
Hope you get it, bro.
The interview process, it was kind of weird though. It was like,
How was it?
we'll ask you questions, but it don't have to be job related answers. And I'm like, well, how would you know if I'm good enough for the job? If I can just answer and make up some bullshit, it ain't got nothing to do with the job.
Wait, what do you mean? Like what?
Like, all right, in our interview process, you want a promotion, you basically, it's not like you have to test or anything. You apply for it, and then you go through a process where you send out your resume, it goes to headquarters, and if they like what they see, they'll send it to your local airport, and the managers at your airport decide who they want to interview, basically.
Bro.
But once you get to once they select who they want to interview, if they have I think we had 12 slots, and they interview like 18 to 20 people, I think. So basically, all it is scenario questions. You know, they ask you a scenario, and they just want to see how you respond. You know, like it's a certain way you got to answer the questions. Like I've done it before, but when I did it the first time, I didn't know there was a certain structure of how you're supposed to. I was just talking. You know, I was just trying to go along as just making up shit as I go along. But then I came to realize later on, they like, nah, it's a certain way that you're supposed to answer the questions. And then I Googled it and talked to other people who were in that position, and they was like, yeah, this is how you probably should go about answering the questions or whatever. So I was more informed about it this go around.
That's what's up.
So we'll see what happens. It's nothing like I'm just all jittery or anxious about it. It's like we'll see.
Yeah.
But other than that, shit, I ain't got much going on. Still debating if I want to go to Atlanta. Cause I've been hearing shit about some political shit going on. It's kind of like,
What kind of political shit?
I've been hearing that Trump might be threatening another shutdown if they go, because our budget is, we threw a government budget and our budget is into November, and so once it runs out, it's up to Congress to refinance or whatever, basically. And we've seen how Trump does in the last shutdown. So he's saying if they keep continuing trying to impeach him or whatever his dealings are overseas, I've heard he's threatening to shut the government down again. So it's kind of got me caught in pause. So that's just something as we know, we've been there long enough. That's just something we always got to keep in the back of our mind that can definitely happen.
Yeah.
Because we've been through what, 3 shutdowns?
Shit, I've been through 4.
4
of these shit, yo. Shit ain't fun, man.
That's one of the things with the job. That's my week. I know, right?
Yeah, I saw the Republicans came in and barged into closed proceedings to stop. They barged into closed proceedings to stop the testimony, and I was like, if I recall correctly, congresswomen were arrested for standing outside of someone's office, like on the Hill. But the Republicans can barge into closed proceedings and nobody got arrested. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's just something I'm like low key keeping my eye on, just seeing how that plays out, because you never know.
Yeah. One thing I do absolutely appreciate about this presidency, it has exposed the fact that political leaders have entirely too much autonomy. The fact that they can operate outside of laws that actually govern the people that they govern is a problem.
Super hypocritical.
And I think the reason that it is that way is because there was this idea, I hope, there was this idea that the people that were in leadership is like, well, we wouldn't really have to do that because they're going to do what they're supposed to do. But that's not the case. Like, they need their own laws too. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's something separate, maybe there are certain cases where they need to operate outside of law to protect us. These things happen, absolutely. But in the cases as they are now, not okay. Not okay.
No, not.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
shit crazy, dog.
I agree.
Anything else, Josh?
No, that's it.
Oz?
Oh man, where do I start?
Hold up, where's the? I'm not used to seeing you with.
She just didn't feel like coming today, so I was like, okay, go ahead. You can stay, take a nap.
Oh, you wore out and you couldn't make it.
You already. No.
So done. I can't stand it. I don't want to be a part of this foolishness.
You just gotta tire him out sometimes.
I ain't mad at you, cuz.
Yeah. But
I'm uncomfortable.
Don't be.
yeah, been working.
I know used to being uncomfortable.
Been working some overtime
Joe's
lately.
outside.
Somebody wanna let him know real quick?
Me and Sean been working overtime. Yeah, trying to make this money.
Better make it before they shut it down.
Even that shit was easy. Like, and then night, like one push, and then we're done, pretty much. But other than that, my week wasn't really event filled. Like, there's some normal ass shit, day to day stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
A lot of adventures.
A lot of pictures of Oz.
Okay.
Still Oztober, so.
Yeah, at least for
Oztoberfest.
a couple of days. Yeah, no, there we go.
Yeah.
My week was alright, man. I ain't really did shit. I don't ever really do anything nowadays. I've just been chilling, sitting at the house trying to save money, trying to relax a little bit. I mean, today, me and the missus went and, explored. Charlotte a little bit. You know, when we went to the crepe place that you told us about.
How was it?
It was alright. You know, them prices weren't good though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, them prices were trash. You know, it was high as fuck for like basically nothing. I mean, food was good, but it's like, is it really worth all that? Like, went to Central Avenue. Just did a little walking around there, nothing crazy, just to see what shops and stuff they had around there. You know, just to really just get a vibe of it.
Y'all was over there at social status?
No, we weren't at social status. We was just walking around. Went to go get some oils and shit from Jamaican.
You rubbed her down, dog?
No, you smelling the oils.
Oh.
You wild. You wild.
My bad.
What else did we do? You know, just looked at some things. Went to a couple of thrift shops. Nothing crazy, man. It's just been a regular day, man. I'm just trying to get myself situated for the weekend.
What's the weekend?
Supposed to be heading out of town for the day. Nothing crazy. Going to Colombia. Just see what's up with that.
What's in Colombia?
I think her cousin's probate, something like that. So.
Is it that season already? Well, yeah, I guess it is.
Oh,
Yeah, because they got to leave for break.
more. What?
What? Her cousin's probate?
Yeah.
You don't know what a probate is?
Don't know. I know what probation is, but I don't know what probate is.
So for like in college or whatever, you know how they have like the frats and sororities, the Omegas, the Kappas, the AKs, Deltas, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when they hit the yard officially, like they go through a process. When they hit the yard officially, they have a probate where basically it's released, for lack of a better term, who's on the line and their name for the line and things of that nature. It's like a whole thing, like a whole show.
Like Stomp the Yard, bro.
But not as dramatized.
Yeah. Like Bernie Sanders?
What?
Yeah, but again, not as much drama.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Watch it on Netflix, you'll see.
I'm good. I'll go back and watch School Days. That's my shit. But yeah, got that going on. Other than that, really nothing else. Might get this Call of Duty tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Call
Call of Duty.
Shut up, pervert.
Modern
Gosh.
Warfare.
Yeah, I was ready. For that job comment. Black Cox 4.
I'm not playing that. You playing that?
What is it?
Black Cox 4. Like, I'm not playing that.
I might.
Well, yeah, because you got the, you want to play with that joystick.
You want to play that World War II?
Ew.
Trying to get that DLC. Dick loading content.
All right, moving forward.
As usual.
That's all I have.
Okay. Well, Joe,
Joe, what you got?
how was your week?
My week was good. It was busy. Yeah, it was busy. I put in some fun in there, Went to a place called Abari.
Interesting.
How was that?
What's that?
It's like old school, like video games. You pay your quarters.
Oh, is it like in Charlotte?
In Charlotte, yeah.
Okay.
Right on like North Davidson.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah, Amelie's, yeah.
Okay,
It
I'm
was
gonna
cool.
check it
I
out.
thought it would be
Yeah.
fun. But I was like, how fun can it be? So I took wife and I went out there, and it was like, hey, let's get some time away from children for a minute and do some one-on-one. And I was like, this shit is fun. We pre-game. They got a full bar. I thought it was just beer. They got like a real, real drinks, real liquor. I like. See, when you were younger, you couldn't drink and play video games. You combined the two games.
You been smoking
And
games.
then you have more income than you did when you were like.
You got all the
13.
quarters. Let me get $10 worth of quarters,
Back in
dog.
the day, I had to like get shit from the couch and save up for the week, and maybe on Friday I could put $10.
Hey, remember you go to the arcade and put that quarter on that shit, bro? I got next.
Ah,
That's me.
You got that quarter right there. Let them know. That's me, bro. I'm that.
it's not. It wasn't.
That Street Fighter.
I mean, I don't know how it is when it's later, but we went at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And like, what day was that? What's today? Thursday? I think it might have been like Monday. I think. Something like that.
They got a place like that in Rock Hill too. Specifically. I was like, oh,
It's cool. I wish they had Punch Out, but the first one, It's my number one, I don't know, favorite game ever as far as all.
I don't know if I was born when that came out. So
Definitely not.
okay.
Little
Definitely
Mac.
not. It came out in like 82.
What,
Oh,
Punch Out?
shit.
The
My
first
brother wasn't
Punch Out
even here
with the
yet.
green man you see through.
And Mike Tyson.
That
My
shit.
man, Glass
Mike Tyson
Joe.
Punch Out,
All
Glass Joe.
Bull.
Oh, that. I spent much
Super
allowance.
Macho
I
Man.
spent much allowance on that shit.
I think the earliest game I remember playing is like the duck shooting game and like Sonic
Duck
the
Hunt.
Hedgehog.
Yeah.
All that
Duck
stuff.
Hunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's an interesting time to be alive in Babylon. You know.
Okay.
I want to discuss
Bomba
a lot of Bumble Class stuff happening.
Oh
A
shit.
lot of fucker, a lot
A lot
of
of
fuckery, fuckery and
Right.
fire and shit.
All managers of fuckery.
Yeah.
And Pastor Wilson, I know y'all discussed that last week. Can I discuss this technique very quickly?
Oh shit.
Well, I forgot what Kid said about it. Go ahead. She said.
I said I wasn't impressed by the technique.
I have that's exactly what I was gonna say. I said to be a man of that age, his technique was whack.
It was sloppy.
His technique was like a man that's batting clean up.
You know,
And there are
it
such men that do that.
remind me of. This is what I thought about.
Yeah.
You know how in history class, right? If you had to write an answer to a question, if you didn't know the exact answer, you just wrote all the shit that you knew, like you was all over the place and hope the answer was in there.
Yeah.
That's what his technique was like.
Yeah.
He just hope he hit the spot.
He had no precision. He had no plan. He had going there with a plan, and he's butt naked
Ew.
with his shoulders down. That's not how you eat pussy.
So he supposed to. So he. He did
Wait! Why your shoulders can't be down?
No, he's like this.
He doing the shoulder lean.
That shit is whack. First of all, I ain't taking my clothes off, eat pussy.
Maybe it was in between. Maybe it was a session where he had to like, blow out. You know what I'm saying? It could have been in between.
Again, that's very bad technique.
Okay.
Once
I
you
agree
start
it is bad
fucking,
technique.
that's over with. But I'm just saying, that's from what I saw. As a man, I just don't see men, like it looked very like
Weak.
yeah, very weak.
Yeah.
But shout out to his A for effort. How about that?
So I just want to know. Well, should he? What would you say that was like a whirlwind or something? Like a whirlwind? You just all over the place?
I call it the
Should
sloppy
he just hit her
dog.
with
Like,
the harmonica or what?
I call it the sloppy dog.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it is.
A harmonica?
Yeah, there's a plan you have to follow. And
Yeah,
there's-
with the little
there are varieties, but like the kid said, he's like, let me just everything that I think a woman like, I want to just move my tongue and turn
Like
that
all
way.
over everywhere.
No
like,
plan, no plan at all. It's pretty bad. I was told by my lesbian cousin when I was 18, so I feel like I have a good technique, and I've used that to great success.
Shout out to the lesbians out here.
Yo, that's what you gotta learn from. But
They
anyway,
winning.
I just want to put that out there, Pastor Wilson. Shout out to the brother.
First name to ask her. Last name to ask her.
I was wondering if I could eat you out.
Other than
I
that,
was wondering if you come in that Bible study. So I can eat that pudding.
yeah. But yeah.
Sean, you will be entertained, goddammit. Don't be looking embarrassed by us.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just looking at analytics.
Whatever.
No, I'm just making sure everything's going good with the
Okay. Yeah. Other than that, we just good.
the sound and all that. Sound been going kind of wonky in and out. I think every time we slap the table, it goes out.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
my bad.
Yeah.
All right, no slapping the table, guys.
Is it
All right,
What?
let's delve into this thing.
Where
Where are we going first?
Let's get serious shit out the way.
Let's get serious.
I mean, it's not serious. It's kind of stupid, but let's just get it out the way. Just I guess the tank situation, which me personally,
Well, describe the situation first, so for those who might not know.
why don't you describe it?
All I know is the man said, put it in a nutshell, if a man goes down twice on a man, he's not gay.
What?
And now was that his whole
That's what I'm saying.
because once for one, we always want to make sure because I don't know if anybody heard the podcast because I think it's on lip service, so I don't know if anybody heard what he said exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So I didn't hear the whole. I didn't watch that.
Yeah.
I just heard.
You just saw what
Just saw what people were saying. Yeah, what he posted.
the clickbait.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think from what I read, it was more on the lines of he was saying like it's almost like a double standard. Like nobody says anything when a woman is to do that. Like we're not really calling her gay and bisexual. Like we don't care. But if a man does it, you know what I'm saying, automatically he's gay. And I was like, okay, I get what you're saying there. Because he's like, I guess his thing was, why can't it just be a situation like the motherfucker wanted to, I guess, experience something or, you know, have a moment and you don't like it, you don't like it. I mean, I think that's what I read. So I gotta look it up real quick just to make sure.
Based on what I saw, that was the point that he was trying to make. Like, people experiment, like, and it shouldn't be as taboo for Black men to experiment. Like, and I think one of the examples he used is something about using some type of construction vehicle, operating some kind of construction vehicle, and he was like, okay, if I do that twice, does that mean that I'm a construction worker? No, it just means that I try some shit and I don't like it. And everybody just took it and ran with it after that. So that was that.
I mean, that's all it takes, really.
I mean, it's bad. It's a very bad. I mean, not yours, but his analogy was bad. I mean, there are plenty of double standards when it comes to that with women and men and what they can do and what they can do. I'm not trying to compare myself to a woman, so it's like, how do you get that imagery out of your mind? Sexuality is very complicated. How do you as a man go from doing that to literally not to getting that shit in your mind like that? Once you do that, is what I mean. Not to shame anybody, but it is what it is. I don't even know how you come to want to do that if you're not. You have to be erect. You have to be erect. Like a woman. If a dog licks her, she's going to get wet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm hard from a man.
You're hard from getting your dick sucked.
No.
If your eyes are closed, you don't know who's sucking your dick. Your dick gonna get hard, bro.
I assure you.
Bro.
I assure you. No. That's not how we work.
Did you just say if a dog?
That's not how we work.
You don't have to be into dogs if a dog licks.
No,
you don't have to be into dogs. You just like it.
No.
You just like it licked.
I mean,
like.
the vagina and the vagina.
This is weird.
I'll speak for the penises in the room. All right.
You ain't speaking mine. You ain't speaking for mine, goddamn.
I'm not speaking to yours.
I said you ain't speaking for mine. Shit.
And by the way, if we're going off of that, women don't get wet just off anybody looking at them. Like they have to be attracted to them at some degree as well. It's not like just anybody can lick it and she gonna catch her.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So then, okay, I got a question. So if that's the case, what if the man dick is hard already before the man sucks his dick? That means he has to be attracted to him.
That's assuming that the man his dick was hard because of that man.
Maybe
Like
he was watching porn.
Don't y'all dick get hard over random shit?
No, my dick get hard over a purpose. What do you mean, like, hold up, describe random.
Nigga, am I weird then? Because there's days when my dick just be hard.
Yeah, for real. Like,
I just
don't
walk
know what
around
y'all talking about.
hard dick.
No, no.
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't say for random people. I said over random shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, your dick get hard, like, you can wake up with morning wood, but that's a random event. I'm talking about a random thing that causes it to get hard. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Bro, I'm letting you know now. There's times I walk around that airport, I'm like, damn, my dick hard. And I don't even know why.
And I got
to self-adjust.
No.
Yeah. But isn't that way?
That's what I was
asking.
referring to. That's what I was asking.
No.
Yes, that's what I was referring to.
Okay, yeah. Everybody, you wake up in the morning, you're walking around, but like to Josh's point, if I see somebody that looks good in public, I'm not going to react to that unless I know I'm going to get that. It's useless.
But I know I know personally men who do. Like, they get hard.
Because they
because
allow themselves to do it. Because they think about it. But I'm not that. That's not my personality.
Right.
I'm not. Unless I know I'm getting it. It's not useful for my blood flow to be used for that.
But to that
unless
point,
I know
hold up. But to that
why.
point, if that is how you think, I think it would be adverse for you to apply that mindset to men in general. And I do feel like that's a double standard. And just because there are many, and just because women and men are different, it doesn't mean that these double standards have to stay in place. I think that it should be destigmatized. Like, if you want to figure out where the fuck you are or what you're trying to do or what you like, you should be allowed to do that without being villainized. I've experimented because I like to watch lesbians when I masturbate. So I was like, well, shit, let me see if I'm really into this, and I'm not.
Tell us.
I'm not. Like, the shit didn't do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so you'll be comfortable if your man, your husband, was sucking dick.
If he told me he experimented and decided it wasn't for him, I don't have an issue with that.
So the rest of your relationship.
No, I would not.
You're going to be thinking about that.
No, I would not.
Backsliding.
No. How is it backsliding if he's already said that it's not him?
It's actually front sliding.
It's front sliding.
He's already said, but that's my point. Like
too.
and that's also his point. Like when women say, "Well, I tried it and I don't really like it," I've never heard a man say, "Oh, well, she might leave me for a woman."
Because we don't give a fuck.
So why should we have to?
Because men are not the same.
But you don't have to be the same. That's fine.
The same.
You don't have to be the same. But in this situation, that is an unfair double standard, in my opinion. In this situation,
but the fact that you're saying it's double standard means implies that we are the same.
That does not imply that we are the same. It implies that we should be applicable to the same rights.
For example, if you have 5 children, right? And one child feels that he's being treated unfairly or her, right? That child can say, well, you're showing that you have a double standard. Because they would believe that they are somehow equal or equal footing, right? Now,
maybe?
Yeah. I have 5 children, right? So I treat one child differently. They're going to say to me, oh, well, that's a double standard because you let so-and-so do this. Because the implication is they should all feel at least equal in that situation, right? Well, so when you say it's a double standard,
but when you say feel equal, it's not. That doesn't mean like feel like we're the same. It means feeling like we have the right to the same options.
We have equal or the same standing within the family structure. So my thing is that why are men not wanting to be men?
That doesn't make them not a man because they want to experiment.
Well, but when you compare yourself to what women can and cannot do, you're not focusing on your male.
Because what they can do when you're comparing in that situation, that's something that a human being should be able to do. Sexuality is a human being thing, and people want to experiment with their sexuality. There should not be a stigma based on someone's gender.
Well, here's my thing.
What percentage of men you think wants to do that anyway?
I don't know.
You would be surprised about the shit that men admit when they don't fit, when they're anonymous. You would be very fucking surprised.
Well, yeah, and that's a lot of things too, because a lot of dudes there's probably a lot of men out here that might feel that way, right? But they're not going to admit it because
they know what they're going to face.
And you know, let's keep it funky. We are not the best, black men in general. We are not the best at really being accepting of certain situations.
Yeah.
Because we'll easily say, that'll happen. Nigga, you gay. It's like, well, no, I'm not. I tried some shit. I didn't like it. Whatever. Right? But this was going to always happen. He's always going to be looked at, oh, that nigga gay. That nigga. So then it becomes a stigma. You know what I'm saying?
So let me say what I want to say.
What's up?
Is it a point of it being a double standard, or what if we just if a dude was talking to a chick, she like, well, you know, I experimented with some girls in high school or college, and I didn't like it. And he's like, nah, but you're gay. That's some gay shit. I don't want to rock with you. So is it a case of we accept it as females because we look at it as cute and whatever, but when men do it, it's the same thing. So are we moving the definition in terms of what it is to fit a certain narrative instead of holding each other accountable?
Well, based on the definition of being a homosexual, you have to be sexually attracted to the same sex. If someone says I tried it and I didn't like it, it didn't work for me, then you're not homosexual.
So what I'm saying is, what if the dude is like, I was attracted to the man at the time I wanted to try it, and I didn't like it at the time. The fact that he was attracted to the man in the beginning, does that count as homosexuality?
Not necessarily, because at the same time, at the end product is really what matters.
That begs to differ. Can sexuality change?
Yeah, so like what I was going to say is like this. So it's like this. So it's pretty much not a masculinity thing or femininity thing. It's more like what the culture sees as what's right, essentially. So you grow up used to saying, okay, man's doing this, and you're used to seeing female doing this, right? So we men ourselves, we accept females for doing certain things and experimenting because that's what we always been, what we grow up and see females doing. You know what I'm saying? They always do that kind of thing. We don't hold them necessarily to a higher standard. I'm not trying to say that you guys are not on the same level. So I'm just saying like guys hold women to a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? In general, like you guys are able to go do what you want. You guys can wear men's pants and we don't care about it. All that's what causes your ability to experiment because you're not looked down for that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas men, we all treat ourselves like to a certain standard. Like if you're a man, I expect you to act this way. So that's why you get that stigma when like, oh, you try some shit like that, like it will be, oh shit, that's gay shit because that's what we've been groomed for thousands of years to believe. I think 3
points really. I think it sounds good for people to believe they could do that and then just not do it. Because the very idea of even trying that.
Wait, don't say people, because you're not talking about people, you're talking about men. Because you're okay with women doing it.
No.
Men.
I'm talking about sucking dick.
Men.
Yeah,
you said men.
You said doing
yeah, but you said people.
But I mean, I'm talking about
but you're talking about men, not people.
I'm talking about sucking dick.
But you're talking about men, because a woman can suck a dick and never suck a dick again. That can happen. So who you talking about?
Women, I don't know any woman like that, but
I know women who don't suck dick to this day. So
I mean, put it like this.
They still make those?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I've been around for a while. What I'm saying is that's fine. That's also our natural function again. So my thing is that of course, women should be women and men should be women. That's biological, how it has been, how it should be. But my thing is, if you want people to believe that you could take something up your whatever, and then somehow it's the same thing. He's saying
that's like saying if a man was raped, then he automatically was gay. He took something up his ass.
No. I'm talking about this. If you willfully do something, I can't equate that to somebody who unwillfully does something. People have been raped and been given drugs. I don't look at it the same. I don't look at it the same as somebody been molested as a child. My point is that if you try and push a narrative, the other narrative is that so-called black people don't like are so homophobic, which is not true. Because if you look around other cultures, the homophobia is real. That's why some people are closeted, particularly the males. It's not something people just go out and just want to promote, right? So it's not just us. If you look at even the Versace movie, the person committing all the murders against gay people is gay people. Most people who kill trans are gay people. They're not straight men looking for trans.
Well, I mean, because they hang out together.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Like saying most black people kill most black people.
No, it's not the same
thing.
That's
an irrelevant point.
No.
They hang out together, so they kill one another. Like
they kill. But when you brandish it as when somebody says 19 trans men have been killed, the idea is that that's homophobia doing that, correct? Mm-hmm. So the point is when it's not homophobia, but it's part of the endemic culture of that society. It's not homophobia, right? So it's misapplied. Same thing if I say that black people is based on black hate.
Here's the thing.
But generally it's more complicated than that because most races kill each other. But I'm talking about if you pose a question and say that trans men or women are killed by homophobic males, that really isn't the case. They're generally killed by people that they know. The abuse is real. So
that's anybody.
So yeah, exactly. But I'm saying is that's
so
not
do you think a man
that's not the reason why they get killed, not because of homophobia.
But to your original point though, because you were saying you had 3 points, and your point was saying like, okay, from what I'm understanding is like, yo, you can't basically go from being a man to sucking a dick to saying, whether you do it or not, physiologically or not. I'm talking about human sexuality. If he wants people to believe that that's how sexuality works, that's not how it works.
Says who?
It's not how it works.
Says who?
You're not a man.
Says who? That's by your definition. He's a man and he said it, so
I don't believe him. That's my point. I don't believe him.
But that's on you though.
He can say it is.
That's
I have
on
my
you.
opinion, you have yours, right?
That's
why we're talking. Because we don't all have the same opinion.
All these are
as a man.
But when you say that's not how sexuality works, you're speaking in facts and not opinions.
As a man, what women may not understand is that we have to get hard. We have to be attracted to something. You might not get as wet with every man, but you're gonna get wet with every man who looks you.
That is a lie.
Okay, you're gonna get somewhat wet.
From spit?
Yeah, it's gonna
that's not my body creating. Hold on, you can't tell me about a woman's body the same way I can't tell you about a man's body. So let's get that right. So that's number one. Number two, it can get wet from spit, but that doesn't mean that my body will create secretion just because he licked it. That's not what that means.
So you're saying that if you're attracted to a male, or you're attracted to a female, you wouldn't get wet.
That's not what I said.
No, I'm asking you a different question.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I'm talking about attraction here.
Okay.
A male that's attracted to a male is by definition a homosexual.
Absolutely.
A man, in order for a male to get hard or continue to have sex with a male, you have to get hard. A woman doesn't have to get anything to have sex.
So therefore,
all a woman has to do to be penetrated is to be penetrated. For a man to penetrate a man, it has to be some kind of, if it's just a drug or attraction to what to happen, or a big wanting to, right? Mm-hmm. It's different than a woman in that case. We're not the same, right? So you have to have an element in your mind how your brain works. Now you could technically say, there are men that can get hard with men and women. That's true. But to say that you don't have that in your mind to do it once you've done it is nonsense.
Once you've done it, if you didn't like it, you're not.
But you got hard though to do it.
Okay, but you could have been curious.
But
you could have been curious. I could be curious about a nigga, and after we fuck, I'm done. I liked him then. I don't like him now. I don't want to fuck him no more.
But you basing it on one time. He said twice though. Exactly. Like if you do it and you don't like it and you do it again, that's kind of like
and then he decided he didn't like it. I fucked niggas twice and decided I didn't like it.
Well, I don't
agree with what he said. Go ahead. So the conversation was brought up by Angela Yee on her Lip Service podcast to promote his latest studio offering, Elevation. In a segment of the show, Yee got the ball rolling by explaining to co-hosts Stephanie Santiago, Gigi McGuire, and L'Oreal how she and some girlfriends recently had a discussion about the long list of excuses men come up with when they know they are dead wrong, right? Cool. And L'Oreal chimed in with a story about how a former flame was a terrible liar. Chimed in, he's not a liar. He just lied twice, to which he inquired, wouldn't that be enough to make you a liar? So let's just say a guy sucked a dick one time. He countered to which Tank claimed Jesus Christ. She said, let's say twice. He said twice is excessive. And he asked the ladies to hear him out before, dismissing the argument. He sucked the dick once, right? Then he's like, I'm not sure if I liked it or not. Let me try it again. Then he said, you know what? It's not for me. I don't like the taste. See what I'm saying? He elaborated, right? It doesn't mean he's gay. It means he sucked the dick twice. The art of being gay is being gay. It's a continuous state of being. That's what he said. So if you lie 10 times, then you're not a liar. He pushed back. He said, well, 10 times, you damn near a pro. You know what I'm saying? And I guess the whole conversation went from there, but I see what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I get it. Do I necessarily agree with it? Not necessarily. Like, I don't agree with it, but I get what he's saying, and I see where the argument is being pushed, I guess, for the most part. Like, if the stove is hot, I ain't like that shit. Was that shit really the stove, or was it something else? You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's his process on I guess trying to explain it. Like,
At the same time, if you're the one giving the blowjob, doesn't necessarily mean you are the one that's going to be sexually attracted, right? That's it. That's you can jack somebody up, but that's not technically you being aroused.
I don't know, but I look at it like the number between 2 and 10 or whatever is subjective. Like, if a motherfucker gonna say one time you gay, he says 10 is excessive. One person can say 1 is
everybody
gonna have their own.
Subjective.
All of it,
but it should be subjective to the person who has done it. If the person say, "Hey, I sucked the dick once or twice, I'm not gay," shit, who am I to say, nigga, you gay? I don't know you. Not well enough to say you gay.
Anybody can say
anybody. But at the same time,
it's true. But
at the same time, as a straight man,
I don't feel like you have the right to just be like, nigga, you gay. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think that's what he's saying. Yeah,
you're right. But at the same time, like, the guy coming up to you, right, knowing the fact that he did do that kind of thing, it's gonna automatically be like, nah, I can't. You know what I'm saying?
For who?
Like me, I would say other people in general, like men in general. So like, if you knew he jacked somebody off or sucked somebody's dick, and you're like, okay, I don't know if I really want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you might, because there's a thing with men, it's like, in the back of my mind, he's gonna try to ask me to do that shit, or he's gonna try to do that shit again on me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's kind of like that's where the stigmatism kind of like goes.
I guess I don't
from.
like, bro. I don't
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
I feel like that's a very.
It's kind of like
I feel like
if you get in a fight with somebody, y'all get mad at each other, and you punch a nigga, and you kill him, and they call you a murderer. That wasn't your intentions. You just got in a fight. And if a motherfucker be like, "Hey, you a murderer," you be like, "No, I'm not. I didn't. That wasn't my intention." Mm-hmm. Now they have entitled to their opinion to call you what the end result is, because you at the end of the day you kill somebody.
Yeah, because if you hang around that dude,
whether your intention or whatever is not.
Something like that, you can kind of explain with the court of law and shit like that.
I mean,
I'm not talking about the court of law. I'm talking about public opinion.
So like. And I guess that's where I differ, because for me, I want to know the circumstances around it. Like, we got into a fight. I didn't mean to, but the nigga died. In my opinion, you're not a murderer. It was self-defense. And the nigga died.
Now, that's what you explain to somebody who not. Now, if it's my family member, they ain't want to hear that circumstances. You kill my people. You a fucking murderer. Like, are we?
Oh yeah, because that's your family member.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's different.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so it depends on the person, their perception of the event. You can't say whether one is right or wrong because everything is in context. Like, if a motherfucker feel like,
but I feel like in that situation though, in the murdering example, other people are directly affected. Like, you've taken someone out of someone's life. Somebody sucking a dick ain't affecting your life.
I'm not talking about.
They were married.
I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about has nothing to do.
Okay, now we're getting off.
Okay. But what I'm talking about has nothing to do with what affects us. I'm talking about the acting itself.
But my point is that's when that opinion, in my opinion, becomes valid, because you were affected. But I'm not affected if someone says that they decided to suck a dick and say, "Hey, I'm not gay." It didn't affect my life. It had no bearing on anything for me. So if you say that you're not gay, then you're not gay.
Hey, well, like I said, you can say that, but
it's what everybody else.
Everybody gonna have different perception. I mean, everybody gonna have their own opinion.
I mean,
but that's you. Fuck it.
We can say it doesn't have an effect on our lives, but when they push a narrative over and over again, if it didn't matter, everybody already knew Tank had a certain lifestyle. That's nothing new in the world. That's already been out there.
I ain't gonna talk about that.
I'm just talking about what.
No. I'm saying that.
That's why he had to win.
I'm saying that. If Eddie Murphy or Tank or whoever else says that, I take that with a grain of salt, because everybody already knows they're already in that lifestyle already. So and it's not to degrade anybody. You like what you like, but when you push it like the whole Pharrell thing, you pushing a narrative of some new masculinity, which is nonsensical. It's like for what? Because we're the only ones having to push this narrative of black men being super sensitive and feminine about certain things. Like, people like what they like. You know what I'm saying? What women that you know don't like her ass smack? Like, that's just normal behavior.
It just comes down to like the world, the planet itself is amazing. Look, wait.
Yeah.
I'm about to stop making you talk.
No, let him connect it. Let him connect it. Let him connect it.
Bring it home.
He usually do a good job of connecting. Let him connect. Let him connect. Go ahead, Oz.
The planet is amazing. It finds itself ways for population control. Every single time, it's like,
I told y'all, let him connect it.
The more and more, human beings that are on Earth, the more and more ways we try, or the planet tries, to not make us repopulate. You know what I'm saying? The harder and harder it is to get higher in the population, because shit just comes out. You got people that, trends change, certain communities change. Like, we got shit like, now it's like, we got this whole trend of, like, people being okay with sex, like being gay and all that kind of stuff. And it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger, and the more, humans are on the planet. Like, let's say that, we get bombed or something, we get to a smaller community, such as like we get nuked and we have like only 100,000 people left on Earth. We wouldn't be worrying about this kind of thing.
No, we got other shit to worry about.
Yeah, because we have other shit. We would have to worry about repopulation. We have to worry about, getting our numbers back up because of, society's decimated. We're more focused on procreation. But now we have so many people, we become lax on that kind of thing because we have so many people. So that's pretty much, the planet Earth doing its thing. Like, the more we have, the more diseases there are, the more,
You let Austin talk, goddammit.
Bruh, I'm like,
you let that man talk.
I'm not saying anything that's outrageous. Like,
No,
I'm being
bro,
for
you
real.
don't ever say nothing outrageous. I'm like, bro, why'd you say that in a roundabout way?
Well, don't judge a book by its cover. Like, I'm about to come up with these facts and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Drop them bars, guys. Dun dun Marco.
Like, this is how it
I was like,
happens.
bro,
Like,
what the fuck? Why are we talking? Oh, just to say that.
So you don't feel it's just an agenda to always have this topic out there.
Just-
Like,
well, here's
I
the
mean,
thing. It's
cool.
an
It's
agenda
always been
because
around, but-
it's an agenda because it's so many people. As soon as we lose this, like a huge amount of people, that agenda will pretty much go away because we have other things to focus on. If there's a zombie apocalypse, I ain't worried about this guy being gay or that person being gay. I'm worried about trying to vitalize the human population. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, at the end of the day, even if you feel like it is an agenda, right? How's it affecting you personally?
Here's how.
Because it's not.
It's not. Here's how.
It's not.
Well, you asked me a question, right?
No, but at the end of the day, it's not. You know it's
so?
not.
You think
It's
so?
not.
Here's the deal.
Ain't nobody trying to suck your dick.
Let's
Suck
talk,
your
dog.
dick.
Let Joe talk, dog. Let him talk. Let him talk.
Go ahead.
Hold
Go
on,
ahead,
hold
Joe.
on, hold on, hold on.
Go ahead, Joe.
First of all,
Joe, you got 5 minutes.
First of all, did you ever hear about the King Alpha plan?
So what?
Nope.
Okay, so the King Alpha plan, right, ran by Henry Kissinger, stated in the plan that the use of homosexuality, either through drugs, either through whatever other machinations, to increase that in our population was a part of global population control. Because they want population down to some 700 million people. That's what they would like to do. That's not a fictitious plan, by the way. So if you ask me how it would affect me, it's not with somebody talking about homosexuality and drugs affect a grown man. Not so much. If you already have all of your, it really affects children more so. It affects the generations coming up. So if you do have children, or you do have any sense of what is important for the children coming behind them, then you would know. I do know that there appears to be less testosterone in the younger people. There appears to be more of it going on than it was before, even though it has always gone on. The percentages are higher. So if you ask me how it affects me, that's how it would affect me personally. That's how
Through your children.
To the children. If you care about the generations to come, then that would be something that affects you. If you don't care about the generations to come, then you wouldn't care about it because like you said,
That's a fallacy.
What
I wouldn't say that.
What you just said was a fallacy. You don't care, then you don't care about the generations to come. I
No. I know. I'm saying if you don't. I'm saying if you think it doesn't affect you, right? Then you must believe either that it doesn't affect future generations, because that's what they're targeting, not necessarily grown folk, right? But if you don't care about it at all, if you don't feel it's a problem for the younger generation, then you must not really care about it at all. It's a problem.
That defines
it's not a problem to you.
Okay, that was different from what you said the first time, though.
That was different.
The first time you said if you feel like it doesn't affect you, then you don't care about the future generations. Isn't that what he said? Okay, yeah, that's different from if you don't care, if you don't think it personally affects you, then you just don't think it's a problem. Those two statements aren't the same.
A problem with future generation. You don't think so?
Do I think so?
Yeah.
No.
Do you think so?
I don't.
Okay, so you don't think it's a problem with future generation?
Right, that don't mean that you don't care about the future. Right?
That doesn't mean that I don't care, but that was your original statement.
No. I didn't say you don't care about future generations at all. I'm saying that. See, I can say something and clarify my statement, correct?
Yeah, but what I'm saying
like
is the statement that you made, the words that you used, the original statement that you made is not equivalent to how you explained it.
But you clarified it.
It's not equivalent.
The original statement you said
it was not equivalent, dog.
So let's go with the clarification.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. As I already stated, you might not agree, so you saying it's a fallacy wouldn't really be accurate in that case.
Yes, with your clarification, but the original statement was a fallacy. Yes.
Yeah, I said you picked out one statement out of many things that I said, correct? So
I said
said
that
what-
statement.
no,
I
you
didn't
said
say
that-
I said
no,
that
no, no, no.
statement.
You said,
That's what
no,
I
you
said.
said that's a fallacy in whole.
And you said what? No. I did not say in a whole. I said, that's a fallacy. And then you said what is? And I said the statement, and then I reiterated what you said. I didn't say as a whole. That's not what I said.
Oh, that one statement is a
That's
fallacy.
what I said.
Okay, because
Yes.
I kind of made it seem like
No.
So,
You
anyway,
specifically asked me what I was talking about.
Anyway, what else do we have on the docket? We can stop talking about this, because it's a thing that can go on forever, pretty much. So let's go ahead and find something.
Joe Pilgrim versus the world.
You know.
Shit.
So I want to talk about DJ K. It's another topic. And
Oh, hell
Give us context.
Yeah.
DJ,
White dude.
the context is alright, so there's a lot of levels to this. You have
Let's do the basic level, the overview.
the
Yeah.
overview,
Level
the
one.
basic,
A high level overview.
the basic overview is white zaddy worship, going wrong, and when you have,
That's why you said white zaddy. I was like, what the fuck is white zaddy?
well, the prevalence in certain communities.
Well, hold on. Let's get to the story first. and then
Okay,
we'll-
that's the story. Well, that's the overview. the level.
Yeah, let's
So
get to the
basically,
story
yes,
first.
DJ Kid, I guess a 40-something or 38-something,
He
whatever,
looked like he about
year old
a damn receipt.
year old DJ from Florence, South
You
Carolina,
think you're kids, so.
who was posting pictures saying derogatory things about black men and AIDS and white and black women and being hoes, but pictured with innumerable number of black women around Florence, South Carolina. So there's a lot of questions, in my mind about it. He's speaking about it. He's been being complained about since the '90s, with little girls, with quote unquote young women, but nothing was really done about it until recently. So there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of facets to this as to how this could even occur, but also the fact that in a lot of communities, because of such movies like For Colored Girls, other things that push the narrative that the AIDS epidemic is so prevalent in the black community and all of that, and black men are to blame for that. That it pushes a narrative that for some women that the white boy, especially the yo white boy, is more suitable to them. And I've seen it in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's just some areas you might see them more or less, but you do see it a lot. So that's why it has a lot of layers to it. So there's a lot to sort of maneuver in that.
I'm about to simplify the shit out of that.
Yeah, I was
A white motherfucker from Florence
right.
was giving bitches AIDS
That's it.
That's what I was.
And trafficking.
and trafficking. Yeah, I was say like, cause
690 some odd. to
Because
get
I
your
mean,
hands on.
at the end of the day, that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of it. It was just like, yo, this is why everything you say is like why it backfired for him, because you talking about all this about black men, blah 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 blah. You got AIDS.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm saying? You giving it to black women and all that. So that's
Intentionally.
intentional.
Yeah,
so that was the
his
big
post was
problem.
like, I got 690
but
black
here's why
bodies.
you can simplify many things.
Well,
We have different opinions on certain
no,
things.
we have to
which is-
simplify for
which
people
is-
who are listening.
Which is good. You can simplify. I don't know. Maybe for some you do, for some you don't. Because some may understand the idea that just the nature of being able to he's not even, well, I can't judge a man, but he's not to me even attractive. But if you have 700 women going to this man in various pictures, there's a psychological reason for that. It's not just based on, this guy's a catch of the litter.
But that's like
There's something
doesn't have to
there's
be that he's white.
something else
though.
going on.
Because he has money.
Well, put it like this: in conversations, in his conversations to them, to the people that I know. I mean, I could use my life experience, right? And my point is that has been said a lot, at least recently. I mean, really, the last 15 years, you really didn't see that. Really, it was like rare to see, that kind of dynamic going on. It's pretty recent. It comes in waves. So yeah, I could say that, that is something that is endemic, and some things that are said, particularly about black males. And you have to figure, okay, where are the men in Florence? Because if you have that many women what's that dynamic like? Even though
I mean,
that's not talked about.
he a club
It's
promoter.
interesting.
Club promoters,
And
they
he has
fuck.
money. Like,
Like black or white, they go fuck.
Like that.
It don't matter.
Regardless,
Here's the thing.
the money ain't even what I'm talking about. Having been the person who's most
Clout.
recently been in college, bitches fuck club promoters. Black, white, Hispanic, they
listen,
fuck club promoters.
It don't matter if you got money as long as it look like you have money. It
Yeah,
don't matter.
he look like he got money. He promoting. He
Shit,
around
got
other
it.
artists. Like,
Yeah.
so they was attracted to
Power.
power. Like his fame, his notoriety, and from what I read, he was offering young girls money and shit to like sleep with them. Like they like.
That's how he got caught.
That's
Yeah,
why.
it was true.
So
I'm pretty sure he's not the only white guy there. So
I mean, it's easy for a young woman to be impressionable to somebody like that. I mean, you can look at it as a black and white thing. I just look at it as a sick individual. I don't give a fuck what nationality he is. That's some sick shit.
No.
To
black
infect-
people that do that shit.
to infect somebody that many women. Of course, it's white and a white man and black girls. But I just look at it. If it was a black man going into white girls, it would just
Put it like
it's just
this.
a
Wrong.
sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's
Put
a
it like
sickness
this. Put it like
regardless.
this. I don't know why I said all the time. I'm not injecting racism into this. I'm not injecting race into this. It is in itself a racist connotation. It's like you don't think it exists. I mean, it exists. Does it run my life? No, because like I always say, everybody's trying to do their thing, but you have to point out. I just point out when things are what it is. The reason it is about race is because if you specifically let loose a bomb on a community, just like they did with syphilis during the Tuskegee experiment, and you have 700 women, right, who are not just fucking him, and generally going home, as he stated in his text, fucking their boyfriends or whoever they fucking with, you can extrapolate that number to thousands. So yeah, I could say it's race because they're fucking other black men, and that's what he actually stated when discussing this situation. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna have unprotected sex with their dudes. Go back to that black dick. He said all these things, so I'm not making this up and making it into something that it's not. This is what it is.
I don't think nobody said that you were.
Well, I mean, so it's not about power. It is not about.
No, so that's what we're
there we
disagreeing.
go.
That's what we're doing. It's not just about race. I find it hard to believe based on the girls that I know. Again, the girls that I know in college, or when I've been in college, and girls that are in college right now, bitches fuck club promoters. Like, it's not just because he's white. It's also because all 690 of them didn't just choose him because he was white. Like,
yeah, because
no.
if he had no club, like if he had no clout or anything like that, this wouldn't have happened.
Right. And
Right.
I never said that it was all about race. You said it was, you brought the race, and I said I look at it as
like I said.
what I'm saying
It's
is
just there.
I look at it as a sick act. I look at the act in itself as being sick to
Yeah.
affect that many people. I'm looking at the act regardless of black or white. The fact of the matter is all these women were infected, and like you said, spread it to other men.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the act itself as being sick regardless of race. That's all I'm simply saying.
No. I mean, that's why we're discussing it. It is sick. But my point is, if you're to say that it's about power, it's not about race, it's not really accurate. My point is that if you look at who that you been to Florence? Okay,
My
I've been to
favorite
Florence.
song.
I drove
Yes,
through it.
I've been to
absolutely.
Florence many
I drove
times.
through
Many
it
times.
many times.
Yes.
They're fucking other black males. It's not a big place. So you're talking about
I
putting
mean,
up-
Francis Marion is known for STDs.
putting up. Well, it makes sense now. If that's the culture of the women there, I can see why. But my point is that it is a part of it.
No shade difference in there.
It is a part of it.
Yeah.
Because it does occur. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's but again, it's like the whole thing where, again, we're from certain movies and certain how we're portrayed, that black men carry this thing, this disease, and with this and with that.
But these
And
movies, a lot of times, it's not like it comes out of nowhere. I personally know women who have been infected by their black significant other who they were faithful to. It's not like it's something that's not true. It's not like they're pushing a quote unquote narrative that is fake. These things actually happen.
And that is
I
so
personally have a family member who has now passed, but said verbatim, I got it and I'm taking as many of these motherfuckers with me as I can. This was a black person. So it's not,
At the
it's
same
not like it's
time.
not, it doesn't happen.
At the same
Right.
time,
Look at Magic
like,
Johnson. He was fucking all them women. Luckily, his wife didn't get it, but he was willfully cheating on his wife and got infected with HIV. Luckily, she didn't get it, but he was stepping out on her. And that's
So,
shit happens.
but when you see it in movies, especially if these movies are created, people
What
write
movies?
about what they experience.
Movies.
So if that's what you live in, if that's what you see, then that's going to be your art.
All right, so when you look at For Color Girls, you have to understand that, again, this is programming. They're doing movies for a certain reason, right? They're not going to portray it in a positive way. For Color Girls is not a realistic portrayal of anything. I mean, of course, the people have...
I thought it was positive shit.
I mean,
For Color
but
Girls is
those
horrible.
stories...
What's
I'm
horrible?
just
Those
being
stories
an
are
asshole right now.
those
That
stories
movie
are
was
reality.
terrible.
Those stories
I
do
never seen
happen
it.
to black women.
You're not gonna... Here's why it's not real.
I never seen
Yes,
it. I don't
yes.
know why.
Put it like this. You see a video.
This shit's rough.
You see a rap video. You see him partying with 45 girls. Is that reality?
Are there not some people who party?
But
Trey
that's-
Songz got a bus of 50
Yeah.
bitches that he take with him wherever he
Yeah,
go.
Yeah, but that's not his life.
But-
that's a snapshot.
That is his life.
But
No,
that's
it's
the
not.
reality
It's
that
nobody's
happens.
life.
It
It's
happens.
nobody's life.
To say it's not real
It's a
is to say
snapshot.
it doesn't happen.
Okay,
it can be a snapshot. It's still real.
Put
It
it like-
happens.
put it
Women
like
get
this.
infected by
Put-
black men all the
put-
time because
put-
they lying and they
Or they
cheating.
African
Put it like
would
this.
use
And
the 10
why
black men don't cheat.
women cheat too. So
Absolutely, and
Alright,
they
so
can write stories
vice-
about that too.
vice
But don't,
versa.
but don't minimize
here's-
those stories or make it seem like
no,
it's programming
no,
just
no.
because it's making black men look
Here's-
bad.
let me
They look bad
explain-
because they out there.
Let me
That's
explain-
why.
Let me explain something to you. Two very important things.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a couple outside, right, and you see them happy in that moment, and you say they're always happy, that's not reality. There's a lot of dynamics going on in somebody's
But a
life.
part of that reality is they were happy
but
at
that's
that
not-
time.
It's a snapshot.
It can, but it's still
Reality is not a
real.
snapshot.
It's
That's
still
it.
real though.
Yeah,
Is
no,
it not real?
no.
It's not real because it's a snapshot.
Real has complexion and complexity.
Bro,
Real is
you
not
can,
a
bro.
snapshot,
Art
ever.
can be a snapshot. It can be a snapshot.
It's art.
It's art,
It's
exactly.
Art, and it has a purpose.
It does
Programming
have
is
a
the purpose
purpose.
of that.
Programming can be
Here's
a purpose.
why.
The purpose can also be to tell
Here's why.
to tell stories. That
Here's
can
why.
also be a purpose.
Here's why it's not real. Just so you know.
Okay, well I will go ahead and
Here's
disagree
why.
so you can explain
Here's
to
why.
those who would like to hear it.
Here's why. Here's why. Before I say you disagree already.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Here's why. There's no 5 women that know each other that have those things happen to them in my fucking life. Maybe it happened to one, but 5 women that know each other gives it a different power. You understand? 5 women that know each other wouldn't have this black man that threw the kids out the window. Then my girlfriend had a man. This wouldn't occur. That's why it's not real. Also, why it's programmed is because if you look at the movie closely,
Doesn't mean it's impossible.
it is impossible. 5. You know any women that know 5 women that that's an unlucky group of friends.
There's a chance.
No, it's a no chance. Put it like this. Then name them. Name 5 friends you know that these 5 things happen to.
I feel
them.
like
I don't know.
One second.
Yo, I feel like you're trying
One
to
second.
argue an
No,
absolute.
I'm not.
Like basically,
Like,
it
I'm
could
done.
be this or
I'm
that.
Because he
just
said
saying-
himself,
I'm
he
just-
said
I'm
just-
himself,
in my life,
he
he
said
said in my life
himself,
that-
I'm telling the stories of people that I have met, women that I have met. If he decides to put them together, okay, fine. But it doesn't mean that Tyler
Who's he?
Perry was the one that put the movie together.
No, that was not. That was a
That
play.
wasn't Tyler
A
Perry.
fe- a
I'm
female-
very
female
aware
wrote the
of.
play.
I'm very aware of what the play was based on. I understand what Four Color Girls was from. I'm talking about what Tyler Perry said and why he decided to do what he
That was
did.
a Lee Daniels
That's who I'm
movie.
quoting.
That was not Tyler Perry.
Okay, should I look it up for you?
Lee Daniels directed it.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't his story. For Color Girls, when they can't see the rainbow, whatever is the whole title of the play.
I'm aware. I
All
saw
right.
that
It
as
was a
well.
poem, but
Yes.
my point is that it's not about arguing absolutes. Is that why
But you
is,
speak in absolutes.
why is not? Well, I'm not going to speak in positive terms like I got to be scared to talk. I'm going to speak in absolutes.
But
Now-
that's not
wait,
being
wait.
That's acknowledging that that is not an absolute.
Well,
That's not being
I'm just saying,
scared.
can anybody tell me
But
5 friends that had those things happen?
But that's the
It's
thing.
not going to
though.
happen. That's
But
why
it
I'm not
does
doing it.
happen.
It happens overall
Joe.
in far off
But Joe,
places.
just
not
Far off places?
Put it like this.
This is
You might-
what she's trying to
one
say.
of
Joe,
those things happen to
no.
you.
Just what she's trying to say.
I know
Just
what you're trying to
because.
say.
What am I trying to say?
Just because you might not have seen it, something, and I get where you're coming from. Like, I understand the point you're trying to make, and I understand the point she's trying to make. Your verbiage when you say, well, no, it can't be, and that's not true, it's like, well, you can't say that. And this is something.
I'm asking you or the audience.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
five people that 5 close
I
friends.
don't know that, and that's
Five
fine.
Five.
Because I don't know that.
Have you been alive?
But
But-
those
but-
individual
have you ever heard of that in
stories
your life?
have happened.
that
Those
doesn't mean I don't
individual
know
stories
that.
have
But not the
I mean,
happened.
somebody out there doesn't know
Like,
that.
Like,
one more
come on, dog.
one more thing. one more thing. See, y'all don't think programming happens, I guess, right? So my thing is
I'm
this.
not programmed. I'm not.
Okay, you think so? All right.
Oh, I know so much. I know.
Are you programmed, Joe?
Put like this.
Are you programmed?
Everybody at this table has been programmed from the time they were babies to some end, along with their life experiences. But yes, everyone has been programmed, and sometimes you have to get deprogrammed. My point is, in that movie, just as in a nutshell, if you notice in the movie, there was no black male under the age of 21 in the entire movie. Not an extra, not anybody in the scene, nothing. Even at the end, at the party, all women. At a high school graduation party, there was not one male in the audience. That's called programming. Did you even notice that?
Yeah.
Why do you think that was?
I don't care.
Okay.
That's the point.
You don't care.
I don't. Because guess what? I don't need a movie. I don't need a movie to tell me how shitty men can be. Because I've experienced it in real life. I didn't say the movie itself is real. I said those experiences are real. Did I not say those experiences happens in real life? Did I not say that? That's my point. But that's not what I'm arguing. You're saying that they're pushing an agenda, and I said that he's simply telling the story, and these stories happen in real life. These experiences are real.
The agenda is against black males.
It's not hard, but if he's telling stories that happen in real life, it's not like he pulled this out of thin air.
He's paid for it.
It's not like he pulled this out of thin air. Black men do give their spouses AIDS. Young black girls, he's not black, he's not white. People tell the story that they experience. If I was to tell my life story, it's gonna make some black men look shitty too. But it's not because I hate black men. It's because black men were the ones that were shitty in my life.
And if I hated black women, I'd make movies about that too. But I don't hate anybody. But that's my point. They push it. No, I said that's me. I'm gonna speak for myself. When I talk, I don't talk in positive terms. I'm not trying to talk in hushed tones. I'm talking from the perspective of somebody that if I study the film and you say that part is not real, none of it is really real. You can relate to some aspects of it because every one of those stories that happen is independently has happened.
Is that what I said in the beginning?
No. But what's not real is that 5 friends have that happen at the same time.
Okay, that's fine. Listen, all I want to say is to get back to the original point. I ain't never seen the movie, so I don't know what's real, what's not. Okay. But I'm not gonna say because something didn't happen in my lifetime that it didn't happen because I don't know. I haven't been all over the world to know what's been going on. All I'm saying is the DJ Kid in Florence, in South Carolina. Why we say it is somewhat power related. Like I said, if he had been a broke ass homeless dude, he wouldn't have got that kind of access to that many black girls. That's what I believe. And I just think that it's a sad situation. I'm just trying to figure out why did it take so long for him to get punished for his actions. That's what I really
because this whole trend of just recent years that everybody's trying to attack like people with power in general. That's pretty much why it came about. Because they attacked Bill Cosby. It's just a spiraling trend. I think it's a trend because out of nowhere, it just started with one person and just everybody's shit.
Yeah, but he kind of fucked himself.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be penalized for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think anybody would have paid him no attention if he didn't fuck himself and put out that whole
because like everybody
tweet or whatever the fuck it was. If he probably would have just been quiet and shut it the fuck up, nobody would have known anything. He probably or when he was soliciting them young girls, whatever it is. I don't think if he would have never got caught either, he probably would have still been doing what he was doing. But the universe has a way of just catching up to you and paying you back for all the shit that you did. So
because look at Kevin Hart and shit. He said some shit 10 years ago. Somebody went and looked that shit up because
we'll leave that alone.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not saying
that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, but they're just trying to find ways to get people in trouble. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get in trouble. I'm just saying that it's a trend.
Actually, and I'm gonna piggyback off of that. 1 second. I saw the Trevor Noah interview on the Breakfast Club, right? And he said something that made so much sense to me. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Even when Kevin Hart, right, when he did that joke and everybody's like, oh, I can't believe you did that. Like, it was funny at the time when I fucking did it because we all felt the same way.
Exactly.
Nobody feels that way now. So you can't really judge me on how we all felt as a collective back 10, 15 years ago. Because we thought it was funny when it was when he would say shit like that.
About what?
About anything. No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Like, even when... Look, bruh, I can go back and watch Delirious, right? Those jokes would not fly right now. You know that.
That one song, that Christmas song.
What are you talking about?
The one where it's like, you know, maybe it's cold outside.
Oh,
that shit was okay when it came out.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we're trying to hold certain people to stuff like that. Like, when you talk about jokes and tweets and stuff like that, we can't hold everybody to that same standard that we're holding them to now because the times have changed. Now, if they did something completely wrong and terrible, then yeah, they need to be penalized for that. They need to go ahead and learn from it. But also, instead of just canceling them, let's go ahead and rehabilitate them. Because that was Trevor Noah's whole thing. Instead of just, all right, fuck them, you done. Okay, we tell you what was wrong, why you should think differently now. Cool. Now we're going to move forward from it. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt that way. I don't feel like everybody needs to be fucking canceled. You know what I'm saying? Because some shit, like we said a while back, is a necessary evil. You need some shit. Because then there's no growth, there's no conversations, nothing happened from it. And then that person who might have did something, said something that might be a little taboo today, okay, now I can learn from that mistake and then we can move forward. But I swear, if you hold me to the shit that I did back 10 years ago, I'm done. Because I said the wildest shit. I thought the wildest shit because that's just how I was raised. I was raised to call people faggots and this and that and wilding out and not think of, you know, people being able to completely express themselves sexually, you know, like that's how I thought because that's how I was raised. But I look at the world now, it's like, bro, that's just not the world now. It's not. So I have to move on with it, learn from it, go ahead, be a little bit better, I guess, in the way I'm thinking and, you know, push forward.
So are you correlating this to the DJ Kid or is it a separate conversation?
I'm just saying, like, what he has said before. I'm like, when it comes to DJ Kid, he fucked himself. Yeah. Simple as that. And even
he did more. I mean, it's from the 90s, but...
Yeah, but he fucked himself. If he would have never did all that shit and whatever it is and got caught, we would have never even known.
But I mean, remember, all the apologies are going out towards certain LGBT agendas. They're not going towards other things that happened in the past. They only focus on what comedians say about a certain segment. Then they're not going into rap lyrics that were.
You're right. I mean,
I know. That's what I was saying. Like certain things, not everything is being.
Yeah,
like
they're only
dealing with a certain segment and a very small.
You're right.
Aspect of someone's comedy.
Yeah, because you're not like, let's say you're some regular Joe, you're some regular dude out there in the street. You're not being, even if you infected everybody with AIDS and shit, nobody's looking at you because you're not famous. That's pretty much it. Or you're not tweeting shit that you saying you said that shit. You know, pretty much.
Well, from what I understand, there was a neighbor of his who had been noticing for a long time that he was bringing young girls to his.
There you go.
But I think the neighbor had informed the police or somebody of, you know, in that aspect. But I don't think they could really get any solid evidence or convict him. I don't know the reasons behind it, but I would like to know why he wasn't able. If somebody had brought, what I'm saying is, if somebody brought attention to the police force or the local DA or whatever, why wasn't this man prosecuted or brought to the law to face his actions? Like, it has to be. It makes it seem like either he may have known somebody, paid somebody off, or I wonder if there's a deeper level of corruption that went on.
It might not even be that simple. I mean, not simple, but that complicated. It might be as simple as just nobody really followed up on it because they might not thought it was something to follow up on.
That could be it, but I would rather them look
some
into
shit,
it.
I mean, because some shit is, I mean, we've been, when you want to talk about programming, I feel like some of us have been programmed to think that there's always something deeper. Where sometimes it's just like,
that's the surface.
But somebody just didn't look into it.
But we don't know that unless we investigate. If we just blow it off as, what I'm saying is, I want somebody to look into why first, and if there's nothing there, that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
But why somebody needs to look into that and then find out if it's a deeper level of, because I don't want to just be a surface level thing of people just didn't care or whatever. It just is what it is.
I mean,
I would like people to look into the local sheriff's office, local DA, and find out if they were informed and knew about this and how long they knew and why there was no action.
You're right, Josh. But here's the thing: it comes to how human beings are. People don't.
That's
care.
not an excuse.
No, but you're right. But at the same time, people just generally don't care until it happens to a famous person. That's it. Somebody that's known.
No one knew DJ Kid before this happened.
Exactly.
Right? He's not famous. He's not even.
Did he post it on Twitter?
He's not that rich. But my point is, it's not about. I mean, you can skate around the issue all you want, but it had nothing to do with other than the fact that these are black girls, little girls, and they didn't care about that. And it's not.
Why can't it be both?
Both what?
Why can't we all?
I wasn't thinking about it that way.
Well, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not really. I'm gonna say talk my piece.
I know, this is where it becomes a problem. When you say, well, it's not that, bro, you could easily be like, well, yeah, it could be a mixture of both, but this is how I feel about it.
Well,
because I feel like there's a lot of different things.
Like if you just said some people are programmed to say that to think about things too deeply, and sometimes just about the surface. You're basically saying that in this situation, it could just be about the surface. Same thing I'm saying.
I'm just saying that it could be both.
Same thing. What you're saying is what you're saying.
I'm letting you know exactly what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah, and you just said.
And what I'm saying right now, listen to my words.
I respect your opinion.
It could be both.
I respect your opinion.
I'm telling you, you don't have to say, well, nah, it's not that. It's just this. I'm saying you could easily be like, well, yeah, it could be a mixture of that. Yeah, he has
to be multiple truths in a situation.
Exactly, and all of it could have been a mixture of what the situation was.
There are sometimes multiple truths, but I'm speaking about your comment about it not being deeper. I'm talking about
no. Wait. This is what you're I'm saying that no. I didn't say that this situation wasn't deep. I'm saying it could not have. Maybe it wasn't.
You said maybe it was just about.
Maybe it wasn't, but I'm not saying that's what I'm thinking it is. I'm saying this is what it could have been. It could have been something not that deep. It could be something deep as hell. The point I'm trying to get at is that all of us are right in this situation.
Just to clarify something. With somebody's program has nothing to do with whether they analyze something or not. If I talk to a woman, I might talk to them deeper than most people would talk to them. I'm talking about how my mind works.
I'm not saying that. What I am saying, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
I'm saying it could either be this or that. It could be both, right? It doesn't have to be either or. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It could have been deep. It could have been surface level. But I'm saying when you say, well, nah, it wasn't because of fame and order, I'm like, bro, you can't say that either. Because obviously that meant something for these women to want to have sex with. So I'm like, that
can't say it's not like power or it's all race. Like, there's multiple.
It can be both.
Hold up, before you even said, described it, you said it was multiple layers to it. So why can't it be multiple truths to the situation?
No. There can be multiple truths.
Yeah.
But my point is that when I said he wasn't famous, he's local famous. But he's not. I can't. You can't.
Hold on. He was fucking local girls. He wasn't fucking girls in California.
Hold on. My point is, you're putting in Bill Cosby.
No, I didn't do that.
He's nowhere near the level of.
I didn't put in Bill Cosby.
I mean, I said that as an example.
Stop saying shit like that.
I'm just clarifying that.
No, and that's what we're trying to see. This is what. Okay, you from the city, right? So you grew up around famous people, right? You grew up around a lot of rappers, stars, and stuff like that, right?
In the city.
Now, I'm not about to downplay the South at all because, I've lived a good part of my life down here. Sometimes famous to us could just be a local motherfucker doing something. That's fame for us. So we'll see somebody like, yo, we all know him because he's just the guy. So that's where his fame and notoriety, came from, for him to maybe have this type of avenue for all these women to, I guess, have sex with him or look at him in that light. So just because he might not be, now he's nationally known, but if he's locally known, that's better than anything to some of these motherfuckers. I know niggas right now back in Rock Hill who are known and they fucking all the chicks in Rock Hill. Don't nobody else know these dudes.
Yeah, I didn't know about this dude until,
And that's what I'm saying. Like when we say fame, we're talking about, bro, in Florence, Florence, Conway, Myrtle Beach, they all might just know about this dude in those areas.
At the same time, you have to have something like 690 people, like, that's
bro,
a lot of people.
It can't just be he was just out here like, hey, you come in.
No.
You want to fuck? It can't be just
690 people.
I mean, again,
because he's not an attractive person, so it had to be something.
You're using multiple things, but again, yes, you're using the age of the girls you're fucking with. You're using your position or status at a radio station. You're using your location. Because it's not a lot of fish in that pond. It's not downplaying anywhere where anybody's from. But the less fish you have in a pond, the bigger you seem to some people. But you're also using he's doing that yo shit for a reason. He wants to attract a certain demographic of young black girls. And he's also using his race. All of it is a mixture. But what accounts for the ability to do that at that level for that long? That has to be a part of the mix. But even if you discount the fact that the women themselves, the girls themselves, were worshiping this man, the fact is that the end result of it is you're putting a bomb into a black community when you willfully expose certain people and then tweet it out and say, or text it out and say that I want you to bring it back to your boyfriend. It's a willful act that could affect thousands. So, you know, it is like I said, it is a lot of context to it. There is a lot of to me it's a deep topic.
Yeah.
But it also has.
I just don't think Joe was that smart and.
Yeah, but we're not saying
that's
saying that's an impossibility, Joe. That's actually possible. But other things can be possible too. That's pretty much the whole conversation. You know.
All right, do we have anything else?
Keith?
I'm done.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
Thanks what?
Piece of shit.
Why?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about the whole always Venus symbol thing. I wanted to know about that.
What? Always be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If it's a subject you find.
Yeah.
All right, Kia.
Yeah, man. Kind of sad.
Look
Bro,
at
we
her.
go study the
Yo,
movie,
Kia,
man.
you
Like,
hilarious. You look dead on the inside. He's like, you soul left your body?
No.
I know that look
Just like,
also.
no, I'm done.
I know that look also well.
Like when I mess up, that's what how my girlfriend was saying.
oh man, but
Hey.
This counts as your episode, Joe.
why?
This counts as your
My
episode.
episode? Why?
Because
Why?
shut down.
Why? See, this is the problem though.
ain't no problem.
See, I'm from a different generation, man. I'm not going to do talking hushed tones, man.
But ain't
It's
nobody
what it
talking
is.
about
Oh,
talking
here
in
we go,
hush
here we
tones.
go.
When
Oh,
you
shit.
speak
All right.
in facts as opposed to opinion, when you say it ain't got nothing to do with that, no, that's wrong, that's incorrect, but you're going off personal experience, you're not speaking in facts either. So when you're discrediting someone else's opinion, that's not speaking hush hush, that's being disrespectful.
So
That's hubris. That's arrogance to think that only your way of thinking is correct simply because you feel that you're more educated or more informed on the subject. Why?
So-
Because you live longer? Because you think you met more people? Like, no, that's not
Yeah,
okay.
you're reading too much into it. Put it like this: if you say what I said is a fallacy, or when what's his name again? When Jacob said that's bullshit, or when Josh would seemingly be like, I'm like it's cool. It's just this conversation. So all that could be disrespectful, but I ain't looking at it like that.
When I say something is incorrect, I come with examples. When I said that your statement was a fallacy, I said that your statement that was factual, that statement was a fallacy because I am a person who proves that statement wrong.
But you disagree, right? You didn't agree with me, correct? I disagree.
It was
too.
you can disagree, but if it's just an opinion, if there is no hard evidence, no fact to prove that my opinion is invalid,
I have facts.
what facts did you have?
You discussed the movie. You talked about it being real.
No, and you're still misquoting me. What I said was those experiences happen in real life. I said that on multiple locations.
I asked you if it was realistic. You said it was.
I said those experiences. That was my exact response to you.
Let's go with that.
I don't know. Is it
Okay.
realistic to think that 5 women like that will come together?
Or
No.
not?
But those experiences
Yeah,
are real
okay,
life.
but
And
you
that
said-
was my argument from the jump. When you asked me that is how I responded. Those experiences are real life. I said it on multiple occasions. Multiple. Everybody heard me.
So you also said that movie was realistic. Correct?
No. Did I say that?
Right, he did.
Did I say that?
You never said it was real?
I said
Okay.
those experiences happen in real life. That's what I said.
I'm gonna tell you, as neutral, I'm neutral. I never seen the movie.
Go ahead.
She said the experiences happen in real life.
And that's the problem when you
were
hear
saying-
you hear what you want to hear as
you
opposed
were
to what's
saying-
actually
yeah, you were
being
saying-
said.
You were saying there's no way 5 women could.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
And what
But
did
she
you-
was talking
what-
about.
what
I
did
think
you
she was.
respond to
I
that?
think from me being neutral, I don't
Right.
know if 5 women got together and shit happened. And I don't know. I never seen the movie.
Yeah.
I think from what Kia was saying,
It got
each individual experience happened. Now, if they made a movie where it all tied in, where they all got together at the same time, I don't know. I didn't see the movie,
Yeah.
but I understand what she's saying. That if it was 5 instances of something happening, each one of those instances individually happened. Are now realistic.
And how is it that everyone at this table heard and understood what I said but Joe? How?
Here's the case. Again, he didn't see the movie yet. So my point is this.
But then what I said has nothing to do with whether he saw the movie or not. He heard me.
As I discussed, as I asked you about the fact that 5 women is a pointed question. 5 women that know each other, for those 5 women to experience that is not realistic. You then said that is realistic.
Originally, you didn't say, you said, is that movie realistic? That was your first question. You said, is that movie realistic? Is that what he asked?
You said yes.
I said those experiences happen in real life. That was my response. That is not equipped.
And then when I said 5 women, 5 women that know each other, to have that experience happen that know each other is not realistic. Then I also went on and said, if you look at the movie, look at the messaging in the movie. The fact that there's no black male in the movie under 21, not even as an extra. That there's no black men at high school graduation party at the end. That the only black male that has any relevance to being good is the cop, right? Every black male at the end of the movie is either in jail, dead, or dying, right? If you don't think that's messaging, I don't agree with you. Those are facts. It's not my opinion.
It's also factual. What I said is also factual.
Yeah,
but
for you, yes.
For who? Those experiences happen in real life.
Yes.
That's facts.
And I agree, but not the 5 friends.
But I didn't say that. But again, when you speak, when we are debating, you don't listen. You hear what you want to hear, and then you negate what we say. But that's factual. You do that to all of us, dog.
That's cool, but we agree on that.
It's not cool. It's not cool.
But do we agree that 5 friends?
Like that shit not cool.
5 friends can't. What's not cool?
Damn. I'm done, dog. I'm done. You can't you just can't communicate with you. Like that shit is not okay.
You just said 5 friends can be.
Okay.
That was the basis of the whole argument.
Okay.
5 friends can't have that happen to them.
Okay, Joe.
Not one time.
You right, Joe.
Not at all.
You done?
Not
you
at
right.
all.
Are you finished?
You right, dog. Like, you right.
And that's
because
respectful.
I feel like that's what you want to hear. Like,
and that's respectful. And that's respectful, right?
No.
I don't do that to you though.
What? You don't get respect when you don't give it.
I don't get
You
respect.
don't get respect when you don't give it.
Okay.
You don't.
There's all love
It's
here.
a conversation. That's all. You can't be in your feelings about a conversation. That's
I can be in my feelings about disrespect, though. I can do that, and I can actually be in my feelings about anything I'd like to be in my feelings about because they're my feelings.
Not have a conversation, you can.
I can, and continue to have a conversation as I'm doing now.
After you said that,
Am I still talking? Are you still conversing? It's a conversation.
No, it's not a conversation.
Then what is it?
It's called an argument when you say that. Not a
Is the argument not a type of conversation? It is.
All right.
Oh, okay. All right. It is.
Put it like this. It's not real.
I don't have much to add. Like I said, I never seen the movie.
Shut up, Josh.
And I don't. No, I'm saying I never seen it.
Don't even say the word movie.
I've never seen that experience. And I don't want to see that experience. I never wanted to before, but I definitely don't want to see it now.
Thank you. I said it before we like that shit's rough. It's rough. Mm-hmm. This is why it's rough. Like it's rough, bro. Like, cause at the end of the day, bro, I understand where she's coming from. Like I get it. Like I get it. Yo, you gotta listen to her, right? And you can still have your point, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to listen to what somebody's saying. And then if you don't understand or you feel like you can
disagree without demeaning other people's opinions.
Yeah. Oh, so you didn't demean mine.
I absolutely did. I didn't.
You did?
I absolutely did.
Absolutely.
I gave you what you give me. I gave you what you give me. Absolutely.
So what did I say to the
Because there's been countless times before this where we have had conversations and I didn't do it. This is the first time I've done it. But anytime anyone gets into a debate with you, if you disagree, you demean their opinion. You do that. Not just me, with all of us.
So every time I'm on the show, right, with Josh, every time I'm on the show with Sean, and they say, enough of that. I don't talk about that no more. What is that?
I'll tell you what it is.
Hold on.
You asked the question. Let us answer. You asked the question.
That's what I asked.
So, first of all, we're doing that for the viewers because they want to hear a variety of topics and not us keep doing on roundabout about the same thing. So we have to keep it moving to the next subject because we'll end up being a dead horse talking about the same thing over and over. And that's why we do that.
Yeah.
If you want to get an answer.
Now,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, I've said this a million times.
Yeah.
You're not having a conversation with us, right?
Yes. We have viewers.
We're having a conversation and people are tuning in. So you can't just have a conversation where it's so one-sided or it's so you can't do it. It doesn't make for a good conversation. So that's why when we see that, okay, this ain't going anywhere, we gotta move on from it.
Yep.
Because there's nothing else we can talk about.
Right.
Like what else we going?
We beat it. The subject dead. It's not. I don't want you to think it's disrespect towards you.
No.
Hold on. Let me finish. You ask. Let us elaborate on what you asked us.
Yeah.
So you asked us a question. Why is that? We're giving you context of why it's like that. So what we're saying is basically it's not a form of disrespect. Like you think it's not the same thing as what you're trying to say kids doing demeaning you. That's not what we're doing. We're ending that topic and keeping it moving for the viewer's sake to keep the show moving forward. Because we can't just keep talking about spending an hour on the same thing, talking about the same thing over and over, going back and forth, when it's other things that other people might want to talk about, and we're on a limited time frame. So that's what we're doing. That's why we're doing it. It's not out of disrespect. It's to keep the show moving because we're on a time frame. We're not here all night. I got shit to do. I don't know about you. I got shit to do.
I definitely do.
All right. That's why we do it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm fine with it. But the point is that please don't act like I'm the only one who shoots people away. I'm actually just talking about what I happen to believe in,
And that's fine.
and we're debating that. But never am I pointedly saying, whatever, like, your shit don't mean. But I'm arguing my point. I'm not saying.
But you can argue your point without
somebody
demeaning
else's.
someone else's point. That's
we're
all
trying
we're
to
saying.
But how did I demean your point though?
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later. I'm done.
We'll talk about
All
it
right,
later.
Joe.
It's 12:50. I got shit to do, man.
So, this was episode 121. I hate you so much.
I hate you so much right now.
Damn. Exactly. Yeah, this was. Damn. Shut up, Victor. This was episode 121 of the UNFAMOUS Podcast, man. This is your boy Sean, Mr. NJ Brick City.
Just Kia.
Any Hardaway?
So cool.
Fiction. I just had to breathe. Let me breathe, nigga. You can't get mad at that.
I'm about to demean you. Fuck you. You don't get to breathe. I'm demeaning your life. How about that? You don't get to breathe no more. You piece of shit.
I just breathe, nigga. Like, calm down.
But this is the UNFAMOUS Podcast, yo. Thank y'all for listening. Appreciate it. Peace. Y'all. I hate y'all.
With a passion.